Do, do, do. Okay, if you're still here, friend, I'm gonna boot up your POB for 5 minutes. Okay. A lot of problems with this POB right now. Are you degenning? Your auras are messed up. I don't know what you're running because of this. So... Righteous Fire, Ellie Focus, this is fine. Definitely need to level this up, but I see your dexterity is locked. Which means your fire trap is only 13. Okay. Alright, take some notes, friend. Are you here? Step 1. You cannot have a low-level fire trap, otherwise you don't do any damage. So, congrats, Convey. Step 1, you need to fix your gear. So the easiest way to fix your gear is... Let's see. Where are your rings? Okay, you're running Annihilate. You can't be doing this. Okay. You're jumping too far ahead in the budgets. What you need to do is stop, right? You need to take a moment to look at the POBs that I created, right? Even if you're new, even if it's your first time, you just got to take some time. So if you import this build here, this is my actual path of building, and you use the loadout and you look here at 90 going block based, right? This is where you want to start, okay? You want to start here because there's a lot of holes in your character. If you look right now, you'll see that this version is running a total life regen of 900. You are degenning by 90, right? This has 7k HP. You have close to 7k HP. That's good. This has 114 dexterity. You have 70. That's a problem, right? So the first thing you want to do before jumping too far ahead is take your time to look through the path of building and see what is happening. So you have a better weapon. Nebulous is fine. Problem with Nebulous is you're not even res capped here on 90. So your Nebulous is not really getting much value. So one thing you really need to do is you need to specifically get 90 max res, which you can do with jewels. If you look in the POB, there's 2% max fire res jewels. That is going to help you a lot. Some other things we can go through and take a look at is if we look at the skills section here, let's take a look at what you're running. So your fire trap has fire trap, trap and mine, swift affliction, life tap. That's fine. Level 13 fire trap is not fine. You're losing like 3 times damage by having this low level one, right? I don't know what is going on here. I don't know. The problem is with you having a build like this, I don't know what you're running, so it's hard for me to help you because of this issue, right? I really genuinely think the first thing you need to do is go back to the POB and you need to start following it, right? I'm not trying to flame you, but I can see that you're trying to jump into loadouts you can't afford because you're running Malevolence when you're not supposed to be running Malevolence yet. You're using an Enlighten. You shouldn't be using the Enlighten yet. Your Enlighten is level 2 instead of level 3, so you got to walk it back. A lot of the time I see this when people have a lot of currency on a second character. They just try to splurge, and the problem with this is if you are not following the progression, you're not going to have a solid character, right? So really the first thing you got to do is go back to the block based and start there and get your character set up. From there, you can work on going to the next loadout, which is the setting up Malevolence right here at the 90 plus. This is, or if you think you have the currency, you can go here. You cannot run Annihilation with your current setup. You have negative 90 regen. That is not good. Even without them, you only have 600 regen, which is passable, but you still need to work on your 90 max res to benefit from your Nebulous, right? Your shield looks okay. You have a block-based shield. You have block cap and spell block cap. That is good. You have a helmet with conk and burning with a life roll. That's good. That is a decent setup. Your Cloak of Flame is okay. You're not using Foulborn. That's good. Your gloves have a life regen rate. That's okay. It would be better if you could get higher life regen rate, but for now, that's okay. It would also be better if on your gloves, instead of that lightning res, you had a dexterity roll or you had a chaos res roll. If you look at your res, your fire res is more than enough to cap these two. So it would actually be better and in your favor to get a dexterity roll or a chaos res roll on your gauntlets. As for your amulet, you have dot multi and you have intelligence with fire chaos. You'll notice on your amulet that it is a dex int with an int roll. That is okay. I would try to find more dexterity, but this amulet is passing. You just have to be careful again because your chaos res is very bad, which is not good for builds that are trying to tank. builds that are trying to tank need to have a decent amount of chaos res, so at least like 40-50 at the stage you're at, and then you can use an amethyst flask to hit your res cap. That is one of the big things I would do. Now, as for your rings are an easy place to fix RF builds. Don't look for these increases. You see how you have a 22 fire damage and you have a 32 fire damage? This is not important. What is important is getting rings with dexterity and chaos res and a big life roll, okay? The reason why is your Nebulous is going to give you a total of 400%, 450% elemental damage. The elemental damage on your rings is not, it does not matter. So get new rings. You don't care about secondary resistance mods like cold or lightning. You just care about fire and chaos. So try to look for rings with fire res, dexterity, and chaos. Then you can fix your chaos res. Then you can fix your dexterity, which means you can level up your fire trap. Your immortal flesh is okay. You could try to look for a better one if you want, because yours has almost a minimum life roll and okay regen. Immortal flesh rolls from 250 to 350, but don't spend a lot of currency here. If you feel like you have extra currency after you get a good one, you could drop Fertile Catalyst to get 20% life multiplier to increase everything, but that's a fluff. Like, don't do that right away. Gain 2 charge on hit is good with armor. Gain 1 charge on movement speed's okay. Gain 3 charge on life regen is good. Gain 2 charge on avoid stun's fine. Reduced effective curses is good. One other thing you could try to do is you can roll, instead of avoid stun, and only do this if you can get it for cheap because crafting yourself can be expensive, is you can try to get one that gives you chance to ignite, which just helps with your booms. You do have ignite proliferation on your Vol Gauntlet, so your clear should kind of be okay, so that is kind of nice. That is one thing to take note of. If we take a look at your jewels now on your tree, this jewel is not allowed. This jewel bricks your entire build. When you kill a target that's ignited, it removes the corpse, which means that the modifier on your gloves is not doing anything because the corpse is removed. For your ignites to spread with the proliferation, they need a corpse. So if you just had a blank cluster jewel, it would be better. Don't worry about taking the node in the back. Again, if you count this 25 mod plus the 12 fire damage, that is not even as strong as the implicit on your Nebulous. So that is not important to you. Again, if you look at the path of building, you'll notice that even the path of building, when it's using a cluster jewel, is not using the modifier in the back. This is where we go back to the basics to follow the cluster jewel setup. Now, going through and looking at this a little bit more, you have 6 life mastery set up. I'm happy with that. You do not seem to have corrupted blood immunity, which is a very big deal for righteous fire builds. So what you could consider doing is taking a corrupted blood immunity right here. And then what you can also do is, because you have Nebulous, you don't actually have to take Divine Judgment. It's good, but it is a flex stat. I'll keep it for now. It's good that you don't have Heart of Flame, but this is a potential spot to remove if you specifically want to get more life mods, such as clicking them here. Now, if you're trying to set up your Malevolence setup, you have to start following this POB, and you'll notice the POB is also running the Mortifying aspect with Reservation efficiency. This is when you can fit Malevolence in. You cannot run Malevolence before. You'll see me doing it sometimes. I try to do this my best, but never copy what I'm doing, and always, always, always follow the path of building, because what I do is very different than what the POB does. And even though that sounds backwards, I have enough knowledge and don't care too much about currency, so I can make mistakes and fix it myself. New players cannot afford to make mistakes because you don't have enough currency to fix it. So following the POB is always the best thing that you're able to actually do. So, to reiterate, go back in the build and either A, go to the 90 going block based or the 95 going block based. That way you can set this up, fix your reservation, fix your sustain. If you want to run Annihilation approach, you are going to have to get a Rational Doctrine. If you look here, if you tag Consecrated Ground, you'll see your life regen surges up. That life regen is what Rational Doctrine will do for you. That's going to help you basically start running your Annihilation approach. But before you even do that, you need to go look at these jewels, right? These jewels, you need 2% max fire resistance to make things work. I'm not sure why you have a blue jewel here with fire, multi, and life. I almost wonder if you're copying my main character because I'm running Adorned. I would not do this. I would follow what the POB is running. So if you look at this POB, you can see it has jewels. These are probably going to be expensive, but you'll notice there's a jewel here, for example, with maximum fire res and life. You can just look for those 2 modifiers. Plugging 2 of those into your build would hit you 90 max res, which will not only make you tankier, but it would also give you bonus regeneration, and it would help you run your Annihilation approach. Another thing to note is when you run Annihilation approach, you want to take Unwavering Stance, but if you don't have Annihilation approach, you want to remove this. In the calcs here, I'm going to on the config, I don't know what your Pantheon is. Your standard Pantheon will be Brine King, and on top of Brine King, you'll run Ralakesh. These 2 are your bread and butter to the build. If and when you set up Annihilation approach, because you take Unwavering Stance, you no longer need Brine King for stun immune, and Annihilation approach also provides immune to freeze, which means you can switch this to either Lunaris, which is my preferred, or Aracali. But remember, you have to fix your sustain first. You need a Doctrine, and you want 90 max res before you even think about running them. Over here, you want to make sure you're always in Sand stance. Again, the POB is probably just importing this like this. You never want to be in the other stance, so that is one thing to note. Hopefully you took some notes on that. That's probably going to be it for here. So hopefully you can use that to assist yourself. Hopefully that helped you out. That is probably about it. I'll just go and take another look here. You want to make sure you're running a level 1 Frostblink, as running a level 20 can make you die to Ellie Reflect. You want to try, once you fix your dexterity, you want to go for a 21 Fire Trap, as that's going to help you a lot more. You want to drop the Malevolence entirely from the build until you're able to set it up. You'll notice now you're running on 3% mana, and in fact, actually, if we remove the Enlighten, you're going to be at 0% because the POB is set up to work without it. So you can run it like this. Other than that, let's say that that's pretty okay. I'm going to just copy this and share it back to you. Actually, real fast, I'll also plug in, I'll just make some jewels for you really fast. So we'll just do jewel. Crimson, doesn't really matter. And we're just going to do maximum fire resistance and a life roll like this. And we'll just do like 2 and we'll add them to the build. And then we're going to put 1 right there. And we're going to drop like maybe this one right here. This is not that impressive, with another 2 max res. And now you're at 90. Your regeneration goes up a bit. And then even if you try to run this right now, it's too early. But if you were to hypothetically drop, say, this jewel, which is not providing you too much, and you were to get, say, a Rational Doctrine. Returns. Welcome home. Rational Doctrine will also make it now so you are, let's see, did I put it in? No. Rational Doctrine will boost your life regen up. Actually, is this with Consecrated Ground still? Here you go. Now you're at 800 life regen with your Annihilation approach, which is passable. I like to get more, but when you have your flasks on, it will also go up because you have the 3% regen flask. So now you're looking at 1k, which is better. Overall, you can always improve this by getting higher modifiers on your life regen rate. So for example, on the gloves I was talking about, so if we just take our attention where the gloves here, if you had a higher life regen rate instead of 15, you could get like 21. That'll boost it up as well. Anyway, I'm going to take this and send it back to you so you can start working on it. There you go, bud.